What is up? What is up? What is up? How's everybody doing? Um, yeah, so like I said, I would continue streaming for just a short while. But what I didn't know, unfortunately to my dismay, was that the males also have another round now, right? So we'll briefly look at the female section. We'll look at the male section, then we'll come back to the female section, focus here for a bit, and then end up with the male section. Because my aim was actually to focus on the female section for this portion of the stream. I actually forgot. So yeah, I'm live right now. Let me just, I forgot to do all that. I should have done this before I started. But I was watching the games before, and unfortunately, Gertrude fell for a very, I don't know if it's a, I won't call it a, it's not even a trap. She just made a mistake not watching her opponent's, ideas. And now she's in a losing position. She's down, I think, 3 points. And it's gonna be very difficult to bounce back. She could try, but it would take a real lot to bounce back. So yeah, it remains to be seen. But I hope you guys are all doing well. So we are streaming the open round 5 and the women's round 4. Second. Normally I do this before I start the stream, but for some reason I forgot and I'm now doing it too. Okay. Okay. So let's do this. Let's make a post. Okay. Hope you guys are ready. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Nothing more. We are going to focus on the chess in about 3 seconds. Have I made the post? Has the post been liked? Okay. And now we can focus on the chess. Okay. So like I said, we can take a quick look at it. So we had interestingly enough a sort of a landing, and Gertrude knowingly to have known to have played a landing in the past, immediately fights against certain ideas. But this is a very interesting one from her opponent. Maybe she could have in this. Okay, because of c3, so it's not possible. And yeah, so takes. So this is a Queen's Gambit declined now, or a semi-Slav kind of structure. Her opponent actually used the move order to kind of mess her up, and that's why she has to set a very bad structure here. We are looking at bishop to f4, rook here, and there are going to be possibilities of the knight sacrifice, right? So you should always have that in mind. So we have c takes, pawn takes, the file is opened, bishop to f4, a6, and the rook comes in there. And there's a golden rule of chess we all need to remember, which is what? When the rook is lined up with the queen, no matter how many pawns are in between, move the queen. I just forced that rhyme, to be frank. Anyway, so yeah, and that was the mistake. She played b4, which, remember, I used to mention that she played a lot for, and it wouldn't really help. And I think her opponent saw that and knows that that's her plan, and because the queen coming in there was a very quick one. Anyways, this is the current position we have, and this is why I say it will be very difficult for Gertrude to bounce back from this. Michael Bridget versus Princess Bunny. Let's quickly look at it. E4, E5. We have an Italian. I love Italians today. Okay. Yeah, so the bishop can still go to C. She rushed it. Okay. That's completely fine. What's with the back and forth? Are they going for a draw? Oh, this can be. Yeah, so another thing is that even some of the results in the first game were wrong, right? For example, in round 4 of the open section, the Abdul Rahman Akintoye's game, there was it was a draw by what we saw, but it was actually a win for Akintoye. So yeah, we can't really trust everything that's happening on this board. I don't know what craziness is going on that's causing such, but that's basically it. So just bear with whatever it is we are seeing. I will always update you on what is going on and everything. So what you can see on the side of the screen is the standings. So just to know who is leading and with how many points, that is the standings. Before I leave, I'll take a look at the results page with you guys just to see what is going on. Okay, but remind me to do that because this is going to be a very. I'm not taking. Please remember, I'm not going through every. So I'm not going to be throughout the round. Okay, I'm quite. Lazai. So yeah, what it's this is not really okay. I'm not even interested right now. Yeah, when it does that, sometimes I don't know, it seems to have forgotten what's going on, and it just seems to repeat the moves until it actually registers what has actually been done. Okay, this game is also another game that has paused. This game, I'm guessing, is also done the same, but let's just go through this game. E4, E5, knight C3, D5, knight takes D5, F5, knight C3, takes, and then knight comes in. I don't really know this opening. He goes for the trade and allows E5, E4. That's interesting. He allows E4 to be played. I mean, you should have played E4 a little bit earlier. It makes it harder for your opponent to push the pawn. Okay, the, bishop here. I don't. It's like the reason for this move is that he doesn't want his opponent to develop the bishop, so he plays this to kind of inhibit the bishop from moving, but forgetting that there's something called tempo. Takes and bishop takes and bishop takes c4, bishop takes d8. And black is better because bishop takes, rook takes. You now have rook and rook versus two bishops and a rook. That is possibly better for the person with that is better for the person with the 3 pieces. Worst of all, these bishops are targeting your side. The rook is going to support. Pawns can be rushed towards your king side. There's a very deadly attack brewing in this game. I'm sure I'm getting frustrated at some of the games because I don't get what's going on. We have another Italian. Okay, standard maneuver. We've mentioned this quite a number of times. Here you may not want to take the pawn and simply go bishop back to b3. Bishop to b5 is subpar. It's not a good idea. I mean, what is this bishop doing to the knight? Is it pinning it? No. So there's no reason for the bishop to be here, right? So you rather want to recycle the bishop to this side of the board. Okay. And this is the current position we are in. Okay, so that's it for the female section. Let's go back to the male section and figure out what's going on there. So on the male section, we are on round 5. The games have begun, so don't worry. Let's start with Kogan Nicholas. And it's another game that has frozen. This is getting out of hand and it's getting annoying. But it makes this match is what happened last round, so I don't get why this is here again. Oh no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Here it says Onupite Kennedy has lost. I don't believe it. Thomas Sa and Obadiah Sa. I don't know if they are related, but if they are, that's cool. Let's see the game. D4, D5, Bishop F5. Okay, so we have a London system. Best move here is okay, no, Indian doesn't support my idea with C5. Interesting, usually it does, but I guess because of the move order, C5 here does not really make much sense. H6, okay. Yeah, you can choose to trade bishop. But usually when the bishop, your opponent places the bishop here, a variation I feel like is very good to play is here. And after they play whatever they want to play, then you go this way. Because this is a very nice structure for you as white. I know engine gives it like whatever evaluation it gives it, but it's probably even according to the engine. But I really do enjoy like these kinds of positions, especially for myself. But this is also fine. E4, E5 is a move to consider. But if takes, and then you take with your knight, knight takes, queen takes. This guy is kind of hanging for a bit, and he'll be a bit loose for a bit. I mean, of course, B5 just stops all that, and that's fine. And this is the current position we are in. Again, when there's a huge time disparity like this, what I believe is that there's a problem with the board, because I don't think it will take this long to know what to do about this position. James Tondo. Again, I'm sure there's another Italian, Spanish actually, Lopez. Wait, what? Why there? Knight here is very bad. Yeah, because the knight has no squares to move. Like no good squares to move when you put it on this square. The ideal transfer of the knight is from here to F1 to G3. Because you want to target this square if possible. Of course, considering how the game is going, maybe you want to get a knight then go H5, H4, H5. That's what you'd want to do. But where he's gone is not really a good idea. He retreats, okay. And now this is coming in. Okay, the knight can just go back, so it's not a problem. Bishop, queen, rook. Okay, since she's thinking about pushing, breaking in the center, though I don't think it's advisable. 3 defenders, 3 attackers. But then all his defenders are pawns, right? No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. But still, he has more defenders as pawns. Actually, I forgot to count this one, so there's also 4. So attacker needs more than defenders. He pushes. That's actually wrong. Because you have 4 attackers and then 4 defenders. If you want to succeed, you need 1 extra attacker. Equal attackers versus defenders doesn't usually work. But he hasn't taken. What? You could go takes, pawn takes. Okay, and the ensuing trade doesn't work. Okay, then that's actually interesting. Okay, so taking is not a good idea now. Okay. So taking is a good idea, but in the right like move order, which I'm not ready to calculate. That's for sure. But welcome to the stream. It's raining right now, so I'm kind of shouting. But if you can't hear me, just let me know. Maybe I'll try and do something about that. Okay, so Leroy versus Bacron. We have a Petrov. I don't know if the Petrov has always been popular, but it seems he's very popular as of late. In my mind, again, I could be wrong about this because I think Fabiano used to be the person who plays who played the Petrov the most. But now it seems I think Ian Nepomniachtchi was playing him more during the candidates, and I think it's something that's becoming more and more common. I don't know how good of an opening it is. Wow, White simply just goes for an attack. Hi, hello from Italy. Hi. Simone Romanelli. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, White just says I'm going for the attack, but I mean, I won't say he's ill prepared. I mean, he could go for it. Bishop takes. You still have two bishops checking here. The queen can add in. The rook can also definitely add in. But I think your opponent can easily defend the whole position. So I don't. I'm not so sure how this attack will go. It may not even succeed. This game might just liquidate to a draw. But it's the last move recorded. And again, this time deficit always indicates something to me that possibly there's something wrong with the board. Another game where the exact same thing has done. So you can see a whole time deficit. Yeah, if it doesn't make sense, then it simply means that there's a problem with the boards. Okay, d4, e6, c3. That's a Tori. I said Tori. No, Trampowski, right? That's not a Tori, that's a Trampowski. Knight d2. Usually not a good move. Okay. You could have gone e4. If you're worried about e4, bishop takes, then e4. Right? Don't allow your opponent to lock you out this way. Oof, nice. Okay, so I think the very simple maneuver is that he's trying to get here. Bishop here doesn't work. So if bishop here, pawn push, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. Yeah, so black is in a bit of trouble. I don't know how black is going to successfully defend this position. Could you distract your opponent with something like rook? Yeah, this is too slow. This is too slow. Clinton's game. This is not a Carlsbad, it's a strange position. It looks like a reverse Carlsbad, but it's not really a Carlsbad. Knight jumps in. Yeah, Clinton is doing quite well here. His opponent seemed to miss his purpose here because, again, tempo moves. Now I can attack your weak pawn structure. You get a backward pawn, and then I can rain down an attack on you. I mean, the position. If I'm considering a position, I'll say it looks good for black. Mainly because of this. And also the fact that the queen side is open for like a lot of assaults. But of course, knight can just jump into like c4 and hold the position. So that's also like kind of fine. More games here. Oh wow. So this is one of those castles on opposite sides games where the pawn breaks determine who is winning, and black is really about to cause problems and give white a nightmare he can never recover from. But I mean, black still has to be precise if the best moves are being played. So whose move is it? Black. So yeah, g4. If your opponent pushes, you get f5, f4, and f5. Or maybe f4 and then f4, g4. The g4 has already been played. So you get f4 and then g3. And I think that's good for you. Because your opponent can push. But that's the point. There are so many things going on in the board. This is just an idea you can try to aim for. Next game, Amako Mark Arnold versus Leroy Lon Mikel or Marshall. More Italians, but this time not with the C6 line. Okay. Okay, we have an aggressive opponent here. Okay. How does he continue this attack? Oh, that's a free knight. Yeah, queen takes pawn check. Do we trade off queens or do we go for another check? We can trade off queens, but okay, we go for another check. He blocks. That's sad because now I think we have knights coming in, right? Bishop, then bring the rook. Yeah, because if you take, I take, and the knight jumps in. Oh, this is what I call penetration. And yeah, this is similar to what Basamami was doing to people at the Africa Games. But then what's the purpose of the knight on that square? I can't really tell. Archie versus Kennedy's in Kengo. Let's see. Okay. I've forgotten what it's called. Okay, so this is good for white. Backward pawn, pieces towards the king side. I think white has a good chance here. D4 kicking the knight back. Now this could in some cases allow at some point, yeah. No. I was actually thinking that you could play D4, D5, sorry, in this position, but apparently it's wrong. Okay, but now it's correct. There's slight nuances. Bishop. Nah, you could play bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes. Okay, that doesn't work. So you could play knight to h4, knight to h4, and your purpose is to target this. And your opponent can't push because you take and win the queen. What? Rook takes. Why did the king run away? Ah, yes, because if you play bishop takes, you just come in here with check, and then after the king moves, then you just fork the two. Very nice insight. White has literally just been using tactics to overpower black in this game. I mean, it's been so clear cut. Just tactical shots, and all the tactical shots work. Another game that's frozen. A lot of the games are frozen. So yeah, if there's any game that you are interested in seeing, you can always let me know. I will jump into that game straight. But in the meantime, I'll just be looking at some of the other games that are going on. No game seems to have caught my eye so far. Maybe this game, but I think the moves are quite simple. I think black has a very easy plan. I'm feeling very sleepy. Whenever I'm sleepy, I say dumb stuff, and I'm worried I'm about to say dumb stuff. I'll say things that don't make any sense. Ah, wait, this is one of those time deficit things. Okay, I don't think this is active. Very nice. G4 was played. G4 was played. Let's see what the opponent does. Does he take, or does he allow to be taken? I think if you're allowed to be taken, that's a little bit dangerous, right? Because takes, if you do take, then I get rook here. If you don't take, I mean, you still don't survive, but I mean, it's possible. Oh boy. I don't think that's correct, right? White's attack is very slow. White's attack is not going to going to happen fast. So now G takes H3 is the best move to go for. You don't need to consider my G takes F3 just fine. Because your opponent is going to need a lot more moves. Maybe I'm thinking that pawn push, then you have to take, and then problems like knight. Maybe you can look at that, but I just think it's so just a few of the games are actually still going on. As in all the games are going on, but the ones that are being published and we can see them and we can relate with them are like a few. So yeah. Yeah, he takes. Beautiful. Now, ideally, you shouldn't take back. Because you take back and you've opened the floodgates. And these are not the floodgates of heaven. Definitely not. I think if your opponent takes, you play rook first. After the king moves, then you jump in with your knight. You could go for that. Or you jump in with the knight first, force a defense. I don't know, it remains to be seen. Unless for any other game that's still going on properly. Yeah, most of the games are not going on properly. There's like only one game is going on. Wait, what happened? How? How did this game tend to this? Wasn't this the game where I said he was winning with tactics? Okay, it's not this. Okay, it's a different game I'm thinking about. Woo! Yeah, white is actually winning. Yeah, I was looking. I remember another game that we're looking at where the opponent, where black had to do an exchange sacrifice, but then he had two bishops and a rook train down at his opponent's side of the board. That's what I was looking at, thinking about. I thought it was the same game. Okay, wait, this game is actually still going on. That's interesting. Okay, so where did we stop? Yeah, Clinton took hold of the game. Rook comes in, queen comes back, rook comes back. The shuffling is a little bit, not a shuffling, but rearrangement of the pieces due to the attacks a little bit too much. Yeah, Clinton is really spending a lot of time thinking because his time is very low. Okay. So is he trying to come in here? I mean, there's no real idea with playing into this position, is there? Yeah, actually even G5, knight to H5. I'm missing so many things so far. Can we ring a knight there? Nah, here too, nah. Okay, let's go back to the other game where black was winning in aggressive fashion. Ooh! What happened? So we take, queen takes, knight jumps in like I said. Either one of the two is fine. Queen takes a5. Ah, because it's a checkmate. Yeah, the moment you go rook takes, you are just losing in 2. This is actually... Wow. Yeah, I think you just give up here as white. So like I said, white's plans are very slow. You can play this now, right? But then you just get hit with queen takes. But let's just see for fun's sake. Now you go this way. If your opponent takes, you have what we call an umbrella pawn, and you are safe. There's nothing your opponent can. Your opponent is going to need a lot of moves, and you just need a few moves to end the game. So this is just completely... This is just all completely winning for black. The funny moves are the moves you think can happen, right? I'm sure white was there thinking, okay, everything is defended. I just have to think about how to be okay against his attacks. And your opponent just goes queen takes a1, and you're like, what? I thought that move was not possible, you know? Wait, what? You can still go this. Is there a problem with this? Ah, yes, there is, yeah. I now see it. Did I just doze up and not realize it? Wow, okay. I have 30 minutes with you guys, so don't worry. We'll look at as many games as we can in the meantime. Let's go back to the female section for a brief moment. Bear with me. Let's go back to the female section for a brief moment. Let's see what's going on there. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. We are going to the female section. Let's see what's going on there. They are on round 4. Gertrude is still trying to hold the position. It's almost indefensible. That kind of position. Your opponent has 2 pass pawns, like 2 connected pass pawns. That's the 2 connected. Your opponent has connected pass pawns. Let me just put it that way. It's very difficult to defend. Right? So we all remember we saw the sacrifice here. Oh no, not again. Not again. Not again. If you see this happening, it's a problem with the recording. Wow, the whole game is messed up. Yeah, but after this move, we saw the whole point. So now 9 takes, and then this is just completely losing. Oh boy, let's just go to the final position and see. Okay, she's going for an aggressive idea. So she's gonna go h5. Oh wait, h6 g5, and then maybe go g4. Move the king out of the way, takes, and then bring the rook in. I mean, you could try for that idea. I don't know how good that idea is, but you could try for it. You could try for the idea. But it's going to be very difficult to defend. Especially with your opponent having ideas of rook coming into the square. Okay, we just saw a move. Oh, not this back and forth. Like, I really... Oh, goodness. It makes analyzing the games annoying because you don't know what exactly is happening. Okay, but let's just... So we just stick to the current position. I'll not go back. Okay, I like... Who do I like in this position? I like black. Black central pawns seem to be doing a lot, right? So the question then becomes, how can I keep on advancing these pawns deep into the territory of my opponent? I think that's one of the things you can be thinking about. Maybe he doesn't want to lose the bishop. He would rather the bishop be on this square because rather than even playing king up, I think you could have played bishop takes, queen takes. But maybe there's something about him he wants to keep this bishop for one or two reasons. So you could look at that. Yeah. White, on the other hand, what could white be planning? What could white be planning here? Maybe building a strong center to deal with these pawns. If you can find a way to chip away at these pawns, maybe you have a chance of surviving, right? Because these are the main issues that you have. This black bishop is not really doing much. Whose move is it? It's white's move. Okay, so white maybe is going to try and defend this. Yeah, rook to c1 holds the position and then can think about something. Abigail Kaya versus Ayemo. Okay, there's not a game with the moves going back and forth. Okay, I spoke too soon. Final position or current position. Okay, so we have a possibility of a knight jumping in here, a rook coming in to support the attack, and so much more. I think there's a lot that can happen in this game. If the knight would come here rather, I think it would be better. But right now, it's whose move? It's black's move. Whoop, that's my move. Yeah, if it wasn't black's move, white would definitely want to bring the knights to this square. He would definitely want to do that, right? However, the game still isn't going on. Mususwa. I'm telling you. Teta Thompson. Okay. And we'll just stick to the final position. Aha, this is the game I was actually talking about. And the position hasn't changed since, if I can recall. Yeah, that the bishops are targeting this side. And your opponent can actually start using his rooks. The engine was actually saying that the best move here is bishop takes and then rook takes. But that's how I know that the game hasn't moved since. And you can see that white is having very low time when the moves are like quite obvious, right? Diallo Binto. We have an aggressive game here. I like this one. An aggressive looking game here. Should the knight jump back either ways, I think we are going to still see g5. But as to whether you would want to really play g5 is the real thing. Because, for example, if here g5, I'm looking at sacrifices if possible. But I say it's bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, knight takes e5. Yeah. But what I was kind of looking at is the fact that maybe you'd want to go in this way and like create some problems here for your opponent. That's kind of like the idea I'm looking towards, but we'll remains to be seen. I'm really feeling bad for Gertrude. With how her game went. Okay, back to the men's section or the open section. I mean, open implies, if I'm right, open implies it can be both male and female, right? So why don't we normally see some of the females playing in the open section? Unless, of course, my understanding of what the open means is wrong. Let's continue. Let's look at Clinton's game. It's over. His opponent won. Wait. Nah. I'm on the wrong ground. But I know I've seen that game before. I was really wondering, like, what is happening here. Let's look at the Clinton game for now. So yeah, I was saying that I like black, mainly because of the weakness of the backward pawn here. But I was saying that white also has a free, like, bringing his knight here to try and like solve the issue, but it doesn't really do anything. So how do we continue here? And again, why is the rook defending this bishop? What is the point? Like, where is the threat? Is this really a threat? Okay, this game we said is over. Black is just completely winning. There's no rook to prevent this guy from coming in. You can simply play rook to g8 and just start pushing your pawn. There's nothing your opponent can do. Like we said, you can just lock yourself out. And worse off, your opponent has to, so you just go and play rook to h8 without thinking so much. Rook to h8. The point is, if your opponent ever tries to use his knight to block you, you can always bring the rook into attack, right? You can start with even h3. The point is you still block the location. Yeah, this game has been frozen for a while. I consider this move. Yep, another bad game. Okay, this game seems to have continued. Where did we leave this game at? Yeah, I was saying here that, yeah, he moved the rook here, and I was actually wondering, like, why you bring the rook there. And then eventually he plays d5. No, okay, we stopped at rook to d2. Yeah. Bishop to h6. We don't trade, I see. Now the position is clarified. There's not much tension. And I think that's even easier for your opponent to open up the square. So it's kind of a little bit questionable. So knight here can jump into the square as well. Is there any other place we would want to jump to? Nah, I don't think so. So maybe bishop takes is fine. Try and get yourself. I mean, maybe you would want to do this to allow your opponent, like, if takes, then you can keep you can still maintain your strong center. But for now, I think the move is to just save your knight. Or if you play bishop takes h6 first, after queen takes, then you save your knight. That way you can play, for example, like knight a1, knight c2, and then knight to this e3 square, which I think is better for the knight. Okay, so he does. Oh, he went c1. Interesting. Now the thing is, if you go your knight to this square, you could transfer here to get to this square, which you can use. Because the knight doesn't really have much squares to go to if it comes here to g3, right? And unless your opponent gives you a leeway on this side of the board too, I think the knight would have been best placed here. Because you can even jump to this square as well and cause problems for these pawns. So that's kind of like why I was considering that. We still haven't seen this move. I'm sure he's resigned. I'm sure that's what's happening. Okay, this game wasn't showing. It's now showing. Our opponent, did I say our opponent like I'm Nigerian or something? Interesting. Black goes for a strong offensive play. Castles opens things up. And black is winning. That's interesting. At a point, it seemed to me like black's attack has dwindled, but it seems he came out with something. Are the twins or the brothers or the siblings games going on? Okay, they are going on. Let's see. Where did we leave this? Okay, so we mentioned this whole idea, and this is where we are now. So you move the knight back to try and attack this pawn. But your opponent is going to play b5, which is why I was saying that it's not necessary to attack it now. You can simply just go here and maybe, okay, maybe he doesn't like that. He doesn't want, okay. But I think that would be an advantage for him in the first place, right? But if your opponent comes in here, let's see, with an attempt of coming here, takes, and now I think you can control the file. I think I'm wrong. Okay, very strong pawn center, but this is going to be a problem. He trades off queens. Does that make it easier? Because your opponent is just going to double, and yeah. Oh boy. Okay. This game has still not moved. The Leroy game, is it still going on? Yes, it's still going on. Let's look at this game as well. Again, as always, thank you guys so much for being around. I always enjoy your presence here. If you're enjoying the stream, you can always hit the like button. That's if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, you can follow me. Even on YouTube, you can subscribe, and on Twitch, you can also subscribe. All these things do help me. They encourage me to make content as well, and they encourage me to keep doing this. I really loved your presence in the early morning stream. I was very happy. Yeah, so keep it up. Comments, like everything. Do like everything YouTubers love. Hey, Anish Gomatam, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so almost all the games have been going a similar like way, in my opinion. It feels like all the games are going the same way. We've always had this Italian idea, and one person just goes ham on the king side, and that's exactly what's going on here as well. That's similar like to what's going on here as well. When it feels like maybe the game should just liquidate into something like quite drawish and quite normal. You could attempt to, okay, maybe that's what he's going to do. Maybe knight here to try and go his opponent. If he takes, we now get a symmetrical pawn structure, which leads into a draw. Here doesn't work, of course. And I don't know about this one, right? Knight h to here. It doesn't achieve anything, so I don't know why you would want to play it. Okay, so more moves have been played. Bishop to f6. Okay, preventing this knight from ever coming in here. Queen comes in. Sacrifices are possible, I think. Knight jumps in. I think we've seen all these moves. Bishop takes, bishop takes. Do you really want to take the bishop? Okay, bishop pair versus knight and bishop combination makes sense. But I mean, yeah, you are undeveloping your bishop, which is why I'm not so much for it. What? What did he see? What did he see? Unless these are not accurate moves, which is a possibility. What did he see? Because mind you, White is a 1900 rated player. That makes no sense, right? I'm guessing this is just a transmission error. So we'll just keep watching and seeing. This game is still not moving. Samuel Kamara versus Kamara Asumana. This game has ended in an landslide victory. So let's look at it and see. We had a Spanish, a Rui Lopez. Same ideas have been played throughout. Yep. Knight jumping in here with the idea of coming in here. Every idea. Okay. Beautiful. Knight jumps in there. Very nice. You can slide the queen over this way. Brings about threats of this. Now the knight can jump into g5. Actually, I don't think you play knight. I think you play bishop to g5 because you want to trade off the bishops. He doesn't play bishop to g5. That's interesting. Because now you allow knight takes h6 or bishop takes h6. Any one of them are fine. Any one of them is fine. And now h4. Would that have been better? Would h4 have been better? Would h4 have been better? h4 takes, maybe not takes, here first, king comes in, then takes, maybe. I might be creating an imaginary position, because I mean after this, queen h3, okay. So I mean I think they are both good. I don't think mine is like the best. Yeah, so what happened? So after takes, bishop takes, he plays h4. Bishop goes, he plays, okay, that's fine. Yeah, this pawn is pinned. You can do some very nice sacrifices over here now. Trying to trade off, check. Knight takes, now the bishop defends that square. Originally it didn't. Queen comes in. You take the free pawn. The position is just collapsing. Do you want to trade off queens? Ideally no, but you're winning, so you could. How would you want to do it? Okay, chicks, yeah. Attack, and then the knight jumps back. Yeah, so if I was the one playing this position, even though I know I'm winning, I might struggle to move forward. So I'll think about how to like mess with the structure a bit. So like a4. And try to encourage more trades if possible. His opponent's helping him trade down. That is not a good idea. That is never a good idea. I'm not taking challenges during the stream. Sorry about that. And actually, this is going to be a very long stream. This is, yeah. If you joined the stream in the morning, yeah, you remember I said I was extremely tired. Actually, I still haven't slept, right? But I want to do this. I'm happy to do this for you guys, right? I was looking at this and I was thinking, why not just go straight here and then come in here? I mean, the more trades you force, the better your position, right? So if you play this, your opponent comes in here, you come in here. Sorry. Your opponent comes in here, you come in here, preparing yourself. If you can trade off more, you'll be happy more. Grandmaster Josh Waitkin put it this way. If I have 10 pieces of cake and you have 7 pieces of cake, and you have 8 pieces of cake, you are completely fine because you still have cake. But the more we keep eating the cake down, it gets to a point in time you don't have cake and now I have cake and you might envy the cake in my hand, right? So when you're having material trade down, that's a very well-known chess tip. Yeah, so where were we? So he played the move I was talking about. Takes. He decides to open the structure this way. Trade again. This is what white wants. Now, what black is looking at is the fact that now it's bishops of opposite color. So there's a likeness for a draw. But what he's missing is that happens only when there isn't an attacking side. Mostly an attacking side, or the one with the material advantage, has the opportunity to actually win such a position. So here white can win this position despite the fact that it's an opposite bishop color endgame. One thing you can think about is to bring your king up to this square, then go f4. If takes, now you have these 3 pawns in the center. This is easy money. Of course, your opponent might not trade, but if your opponent does not trade, I think you just take, right? You can just mess with your opponent. You can't just take, sorry, but you can mess with your opponent one way or the other. Yeah, so the same move I mentioned. Here he goes takes. Oh, that's actually bad because pawn just takes for free. And now I understand how the game went. He prevents the guy from moving, and now you have to deal with this. Pawn push again, and I mean, it's almost over. And actually ended here. Clinton, your opponent is literally not thinking. I don't know how I rhymed, but that was crazy. That is the current position we are in. Bishop takes or queen takes. Maybe knight is gonna go this way. And maybe they'll trade off. And then I don't know. This knight would possibly want to come in here, but the fact that this guy can trade it off is, I'm sure, what he's playing against. Coming in forward is not a good idea. Even if it might give you control of the square, it's not worth it. What is black going? I think this is just fine. Maybe he's wondering what his opponent does next. I think the moment this knight moves, this guy is just going to infiltrate and cause problems. So maybe how we even do it? How would we do? Wait, he goes straight for the knight move. Interesting. I did not actually expect that. I thought he was just going to retreat the knight because takes. Now this pawn is detached. It's an isolated pawn. You have 2 isolated pawns. I don't think that's a good thing to want. Yeah, because that's like a quick snap takes, right? Because takes, and I don't like this position for black. Does it want to bring the knight this way? I mean, that doesn't make much sense. Okay, this pawn is backward, so it makes sense why he would want to take control of that square. But I don't know. The move just feels off, right? Because you can imagine knight d5, you're always putting some pressure on this c3 pawn. So your opponent has to be conscious of it every single time, unless of course he wants to sacrifice it or lose it. But I mean, everything ends the moment your opponent plays bishop takes, pawn takes. And I think white is fine. Wait, how did we get here? Did he blunder? Ah. Whoo! That is sad. That is actually sad. Again, you lost your... He's just losing pieces. Why is he very low on time? I don't think so, because... Yeah, like... Oh. 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 That is crazy. That is crazy and that is sad. That is crazy sad. Knight just takes, right? Knight takes pawn, rook takes pawn, and then that's about it. That is about it. Okay. But I want to reiterate this. There are problems with the transmissions. So a lot of times we are not getting accurate stuff, right? So you might see a win here, but it was actually a draw or a loss. So you can only tell on chessresults.com, and even that one sometimes even delays. So it takes a while to know what exactly is happening. And sometimes you can even see that the board messes up a lot. It takes some time and then it fixes itself, but it's pretty much a big hassle to follow through. But I'm sure they'll fix it in time. I'm sure they'll fix it in due time. I'm actually even just happy that it's even being broadcasted, because they could have just chosen not to broadcast it, and then we'd be here in the dark and just waiting for results. But this way we can actually watch the games, we can stream the games, and we can talk more about it. We can open up the conversation and find out like so many things. I'm actually interested in knowing how chess is in other countries in Africa, or even in the world. Like, how is chess? How is training like? How are your structures like? Do you have clubs? Do you get coaching? Like, all these kinds of like interesting conversations that can be done. So I do like the fact that this gives us an avenue to have such a thing. Yeah. So I'm from Ghana. I'm part of the GCA as a member. Not like in a leadership position. So I'm part of the Ghana Federation. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't play professional chess that much anymore. Like, I don't play professionally anymore, or that much anymore. I do still play tournaments from time to time, but I don't think I can classify myself as a professional. Professional in the sense that I'm actively involved in playing tournament chess, so on and so forth. I'm not into that. I could play like 2 tournaments a year, 2 tournaments every 2 years. But whenever I do play a tournament, I post it on the YouTube page. Sometimes I'm a little bit biased that I only post my good results. Sometimes I'm a little bit biased, so please note that. But okay, I think I made a mistake in my calculation. No, I was correct. Then I could take the pawn. Yes. Yeah, so you can just move the knight to e8. Yeah, still fine. Oh, okay. This game has actually continued. Okay, so we have this sort of like Catalan structure. Okay, very nice. And then the game just pauses here again. Okay, always having these issues. Not much to say here. Okay, so I think we mentioned something about this position. No, it wasn't this. It was a different move position. Yeah, this king is naked. Here the engine is saying that white is winning, or like white has is a +1 advantage. But anyone who looks at this thinks that black is winning, right? Nobody easily thinks that white is having a good position here. As to what white did wrong, I can't tell. Lost the pawn. I don't think you can just go takes, right? You can't go takes. I don't know. Okay, so takes here, check. Might be the issue, so you might not be able to do that. But you have to watch out for queen to h2. Queen to h2 is a problem. Okay, guys. So that has been the hour. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry about today. I'm very, very sorry about today. But tomorrow, don't worry, I'll be live again to cover the next round. So it's always PM Chess. Okay, you can find me on YouTube at PM Chess. And on Twitch, pen_Mason. Okay. So I'll be streaming tomorrow. You will definitely catch me live. As long as the games are being broadcasted, you will definitely catch me live. So tomorrow, I think it starts at 10 a.m. UTC or GMT. You can always join the stream, and I'll be around to cover these games. Thank you guys so much. I really do have to go. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Like, comment, subscribe, all that